Hi, everyone, and welcome to TSPN's News in Depth today, or our news. We've got Supervisor Richard Forster with me here in the studio, and we're going to be talking about what's up on the Supervisor's agenda for tomorrow. But I wanted to remind Richard, we had a great parade, didn't we?
We did.
And it was a really fantastic thing. I asked Tommy. Tommy is back helping us out a little bit. He's still going to San Francisco State, but he's got his little weekends in there, so I'm glad to be able to get him back. And so we were out doing the parade. I think we have a little clip together. Alan's probably showing it right now. It started off with a nice little flyby. And, Post 108 has done a magnificent job of bringing that back. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have put a lot of energy into that parade and got it back on. I think we're in our fourth or fifth year.
Like Charlene Buckley put a lot of energy into it.
Right?
Yeah.
And really glad to see it back. It's a fun way to start, the Monday off. And I love parades. It's a real spirit core.
That's right.
Builder. And I'm sure the Boy Scouts and the youngsters, the troops like that come on down, the young guys, they're not troops, but what I'm saying, the troop 106 and things, they really enjoy it. I can see it in their eyes. We love putting our uniforms on and marching down the street. So
that's right. Well, let's see that clip you have of it.
I think we ran it.
Ran it already?
We just had a short little clip. I said, Tom, just make it nice and punchy, and we'll have that edited and up and on real soon. And Richard, I understand we have a full agenda coming up.
That's right. Have a big agenda tomorrow. Our closed session, unfortunately, is as thick as our regular package, so that happens sometimes. That's not always a good sign. But
closed session that long?
Yeah, sometimes
okay.
It turns out
what is it
like
that makes it up? Why is the thing in a closed session? Maybe quickly you could tell people why things wind up there and not on open discussion.
Yeah, I think there's three areas: personnel, property negotiations, and lawsuits.
Okay.
So those three things.
None of them sound good.
Well, those three things are privileged. Now, property is not always bad. You have county property, or the county's either trying to sell property, or do something with its property it owns, or is trying to buy property. So people have to figure that out, but you can get a pretty good idea from what's on the agenda.
Okay.
So that issue, personnel, is an issue we deal with almost every closed session, because we have so many units out there that are union based,
right,
that we end up spending a lot of time on union issues, unfortunately. It'd be nice if we didn't have issues pop up all the time, but that's kind of the nature of the business.
Right.
Anytime you have quite a few employees, that you're occasionally going to have issues to deal with. The other is just straight litigation. I mean, that one's pretty easy to tell. The county is like any governmental entity. You have an X on you for getting sued. So that's the case. All
right. So what's one of the first things up, Richard?
Well, the first item up is American Legion Ambulance, and we're going to put our stamp of approval on them as our choice to be the designated exclusive operator in our county. We didn't think this was an issue. I don't think American Legion Ambulance thought it was an issue until the Mountain Valley EMS agency started talking to the state Emergency Medical Services Authority, and the state now doesn't think that they have an exclusive arrangement in our county, American Legion Ambulance. So there's two issues that the state is concerned over. One, does American Legion Ambulance have exclusive rights to 911? I don't think there's any question that they do. And two, does American Legion Ambulance have exclusive rights to inter-facility transfers? Again, I don't think there's any question that they do. And the letter we have in our packet is from Alan McNanny, who is the Vice President of Operations for American Legion Ambulance. Basically, he says it that way too, and he gives plenty of documentation here, including going all the way back to 1981 is like the key year they're looking at. 1979, they have American Legion ambulance tickets that were sold in 1979 as evidence. Here they have 1975, all the way back to 75, 1979, 1981. So in all that time, there has not been another ambulance company in Amador County doing business, because they have been the exclusive agent. I just don't know where the state's coming from on this one. They're probably getting bugged from some other provider. that they want to come into Amador County and provide service. Well, the reason that you have exclusive arrangements with somebody is so that in a rural environment, they can make enough money to stay in business.
Right.
So it's a no-brainer, I think, on this one, why the state is sticking their nose into it, state EMS, but we have to deal with the issue and support them.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue on with the items on the agenda for tomorrow at the Board of Supervisors meeting. So stay with us right here on TSPN. We're talking to Supervisor Richard Forster.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to let Supervisor Richard Forster continue on with tomorrow's agenda. Go ahead, Richard.
I'll step back just on that American Legion Ambulance Service. They've been in business, doing business in our county for 32 years. So they have a well-established record. They've had exclusive support via a county ordinance from Amador County. They have a legal contract for exclusive ambulance services. So why the state EMS is questioning this is your guess as well as mine, but hopefully we'll learn more tomorrow, but I'm sure we will support them. Next up, we're going to talk about our Veterans Service Officer position, and we're probably going to take our Veterans Service Officer, Terry, back to full-time status of 40 hours a week, and that because he got a grant from the state. We're hoping this grant will continue year to year. The grant is a little more than $15,000 a year. Some of that will be used to bring him back up to 40 hours. Some of it will be used to get a new machine for ID cards for veterans to just make it a little easier for them to negotiate through the system.
Right.
Next up, we have something for our county employees. We've dealt with the different companies that provide services to our counties, and interestingly enough, those companies for retirement services, those companies that deal with our employees still have not dropped their rates after saying that's a possibility, we could do that. But then, they're charging them exorbitant percentages on the fees that they're charging for servicing them. And both of them at our meetings that we had made the comments that, yes, we could look at dropping those fees. That could be a reality, could be a possibility. Well, they haven't dropped those fees, so they're still soaking the employees for exorbitant fees. So we have a plan here with the CalPERS Supplemental Income 457 plan. Very cheap, doesn't cost much to the employees. They get a small increase if they decide to have an actual individual help them with investing their money. Right. Otherwise, it just goes into the plans. They can change their plans when they want to. So this is a good deal for the employees and very economical for them, and they won't get those high fees charged to them.
Okay. I remember covering that.
That's right.
Not long ago. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big issue, but
right.
The board could never come together and make a decision on that. The employees could never come together and make a decision. So, you know what? You just keep presenting it to them.
There's some longtime members doing that. So there's some relationships in that.
There's some relationships, but that's the key. The key question is how much are you going to pay for those
Right.
relationships?
Right.
So,
Okay.
if you figure that out over the long term, it doesn't look like much 1 year, but when you figure it out over 15 to 20 years, it's a lot of money.
Okay.
That they're being charged. Mule Creek State Prison, we're going to have another discussion on this. Bob Slivick with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, who's been representing this Level 2 infill project at Mule Creek State Prison, is going to be back with us tomorrow. I attended a city council meeting in Ione last Tuesday, and Virginia Silva presented some information there, the chronological history of Mule Creek all the way back to 1985, I believe, when it was put in. And she's got a little bit of information that board members received to go through. Mm-hmm. But it is good information. It has basically tells the story of Mule Creek and has a chronological history as well as other things. One thing they're saying in there that she's saying, and whoever else helped her to put this together, is that Mule Creek originally was supposed to put in a tertiary treatment plant. Well, that's a long time ago, so we need to verify those points and ask the state, why aren't you doing that? In the meantime, we found out the state is putting together they've already put $5 or $6 million into an upgrade of their treatment plant at Mule Creek. So does that take care of the issue? If it's still not tertiary, and I don't believe it is, because Mr. Sleppy's indicated via a phone call that they still need to, they're still negotiating with the city of Ione for taking their effluent and then for additional spray fields. So the state's going to pay their fair share. I don't think they've got those negotiations consummated. If that's the point, and even the city of Ione, I think, is stuck here now because they don't have a signed agreement with the state. So what do? Do you oppose the state right now? Do you work on good faith? Good faith with the Mule Creek State Prison?
I would think you'd have to be careful.
Yeah, good faith with Mule Creek State Prison and the state of California has never worked very well because they have not lived up to their obligations. Now, I got to say, Mr. Sleppy has brought in kind of a breath of fresh air. At the same time, you know, when someone's gone sideways on you a few too many times, do you trust them? In this case, it's hard to trust the state of California in dealing with negotiations with them. No matter what somebody tells you, we've been told a lot of things in the past that have not come to fruition.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's going to be a big discussion
There seems
tomorrow.
to be some contention with Mule Creek and Amador County or Ione, City of Ione.
Yeah, that discussion should take about, I would guess we're going to go at least a half an hour on that, but it will start about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay.
That's what time we told Ms. Selva and Mr. Sleppy that the discussion will take place. But Ms. Selva put together some information. She actually has the contract, and this has gone to every board member now for the agenda packet, but she actually has the contract with the state of California. She's got the cease and desist order with the waste discharge requirements from the Regional Water Board, the Central Valley region, and she's got the chronology, which is very interesting to read it, along with commentary on each item as to basically a lot of it says, why should we trust the state now, and is this information correct? So there'll be a lot of questions for Mr. Sleppy tomorrow. I'm not sure he'll be able to answer them all, but there'll be a lot of questions. It's 26 years later, so Mule Creek State Prison opened in 1987. The inception of it was in about 85, and then it started in 87. And her whole contention, what it comes down to, is the ability of their treatment plant to handle any new effluent, because they're taking, as you know, they're taking spray fields out to put the new infill facility in if it goes in. So that would increase their flow of wastewater to about 805,000 gallons per day. Their present system has a maximum capacity of 740,000 gallons per day. That's where the improvements to the treatment plant come in to play, because Mr. Sleppy feels they'll have more than enough capacity to handle it. It'll still need to be dealt with by City of Ione if they're going to handle, as he said at our previous meetings, City of Ione is going to handle all their effluent. So that will mean the state will have to negotiate and purchase new spray fields. Sounds like they're trying to negotiate with Green Rock Holdings, which is the Amador Ranch, and purchase some spray field property. And that's a benefit, could be a benefit. Right now, the new spray fields they have are being used for alfalfa to grow hay. So we'll see what happens with that. I have a lot more reading to do tonight. I've read through quite a bit of this, but we don't. Sometimes on weekends we don't get much of a weekend because you're always reading this stuff. So.
Okay. We're going to go to a break, and then we'll be right back. So stay with us here on TSPN.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.